Hello, I want to thank you for coming in to Soundoff. I'm your host, Kate Paper Chase. And today's build, I want to talk about something that we all wish we had more of, and that is money. So this is going to be part one of a three-part series about money. I really want to get into money as far as what it is, how to attract more money, how to make money, and just understand it a little bit better. So that way we'll be able to keep more of our money in our communities, in our family's pocket, and we can try to circulate it within each other, or at the very least, use it to buy stuff that's going to give us investments, that's going to give us some money back. So I want to welcome you, and we're about to get started. All right. So why do we like money? Why do we value money? One of the main reasons why we do, because money gives us freedom, right? That money is going to give us the freedom to not have to go to work if we don't want to. The money will give us freedom to be able to go with our family and just do the things that we want to do. So when I talk about money, when people talk about money, often the money is just a medium to get what they really want. You see what I'm saying? Now, different people have different ideologies about money, but what I've came to find out is that most poor people think alike and most rich people think alike. So these ideologies are very hard to break because we were raised like that. A lot of times you will hear people saying, it's a curse. Our family has a money curse, and our family has been poor for years. And as Black people, we have to look at that. Rather you want to call it a curse or rather you just want to call it the bad economics on the part of the Black people, or rather you want to say this, the institutionalized racism is still an issue. So what we need to do is just start trying to think of
So what's
money
up? Check out the
differently so
video.
that we can let money work for us instead of working against us. Money should never bring you debt, but you should be trying to use that money to purchase assets and items that will accrue in value instead of something that will decrease. Okay. And everybody love money. That's what we talk about. Money. That's that cabbage. That's that Skrilla, that paper, that cheddar, and coins, and dead presidents. We all love money, man. We like them stacks on deck. We like that bacon on our sandwich. You know what I'm saying? So we all like money, and we all need to figure out how to do it and how to look at it differently so that this money can work for us. Now, like I was saying, most of the time people need money to alleviate a problem. So it's always, oh man, if I just had $10,000 and that would be good. If I could just have my rent paid and not have to pay my rent, it would be good. So if you're the person that's going to do that, then you're at the point. Then you got to learn how to take care of that first. Okay, so that's why investing in stuff seems so hard. I mean, even when I first kind of came out, I didn't have a lot of money to go with. People would say, "Oh yeah, you need to just invest here. Put $1,000 right here. Put $500 right there." But that's hard to tell somebody if they never invested in anything. And like I said, we're too busy just trying to pay the rent in order to invest something. So it's really hard, and I know that it's hard. But you got to take care of the basics. So you got to make sure your bills paid. So whatever you have to do, make sure that your bills paid because you have to meet your needs first. Now, depending on how you want to make the money, it's a lot of different ways, and we're going to have a part two and a part three. So on part two, I'm going to talk about some ways to make money. About part three, we're going to talk about ways to make your money better for you. So it'll keep building on off of this show. But I just want to talk about some of the misconceptions that people have about money, particularly our people. You know what I'm saying? All right, the first one is like, I mean, even my mom used to do this, grandma used to do that. I mean, I guess the main thing that we that people would like to do is win the lottery, right? Like I want to win the lottery. If I could just win the lottery, then I would be okay. And that's a hope of ours sometimes. Or it's like if I could just make $100,000 a year, you know what I mean? I would be okay. But it doesn't work like that. You got to look at money as energy. So money is energy and money has a flow. Now, like vibrations attract each other. So if you have a broke mindset, you're not going to attract the money. In order to attract money, you have to be vibrating on the same frequency as the money in order to get the money. So if you're always talking about you're broke, if you feel that it's like crabs in a barrel, that everything, the law is scarce. I mean, it's not even a law. If you believe in scarcity, like everything is scarce, you're not going to be on that same vibration to get the money. You have to think of the world as a land of everything is plentiful, prosperity, and abundance. That's what the world is. Anytime you hoard money, you try to be stingy about money, you try to collect money, you don't have anything going out, but you got it in, you're kind of like messing up that flow. So money is energy. So it has to flow in and flow out. And basically what we are, we're just conduits of this energy. So we're using the energy, it's flowing in, it's flowing out, and we want to stay on that money wave and ride that wave all the way out. Does that make sense? Y'all feel me? So yeah, I was talking about the lottery. Yeah, so a lot of people say, "Hey, if I just won the lottery, then I would be okay." But without changing that vibration and that energy, even though you have the money from the lottery, you'll probably lose it real quick, or you're probably not gonna get it put it to good use. Okay, just being straight up. So I don't know if y'all heard about this lady. She is from North Carolina. What is her name? Her name is Marie Holmes. She's from North Carolina. She won the lottery for almost $200 million. She didn't know what to do with the money. She had a boyfriend. Then she bailed him out of jail. He had all these drug charges. I mean, they bought houses. They bought, I mean, just crazy stuff. So now what's going on is the boyfriend is suing her because even though she gave him all them millions, he's saying that she promised him some more money. So he's going to sue her. Her pastor in her church is suing her because he says that he wants 10% of the 200 million that she got. Now, I think she already donated $10 million to the church. Okay, so let's get this straight. She won the lottery, 200 million. I think she got, yeah, a little bit under 200 million, after taxes or whatever. Gave the church 10 million. Bailed her boyfriend out of prison a couple of times. That's a few million. I mean, they're buying shops, they're buying all of this stuff. Well, anyway, long story short, she's broke now. So she was on Ayana talking about her money and how she went broke. And I mean, I know a lot of people say, like, damn, that's 200 million. How did she spend 200 million? It's easy. Because if you think about it, all right, this is how we always feel when we have money. I always feel the same way. I'd be like, okay, I got $5,000. I can spend this $500, or I can spend this, or I can spend that. When you have money, you spend money without really thinking about it. So I think her issue was she just had too much money. So if you have that kind of money, if your boyfriend asks you for $1 million, you're gonna give it to him. Hey, you got 175 million left, so you're gonna do that. But the problem is what they were doing with the money. See, for a lot of people, if they have good sound financial habits and good financial sense, they would be able to take that money and turn it into something else and make more money, buy some real estate. I think he bought drugs. So they came up in the house. She bought him an auto repair shop or something like that. They came up in the house. They found all these drugs that the man had bought. So this is my thing: $200 million. Your girlfriend just gave you $1 million, buying you anything you want. Y'all just spending crazy money. I think she spent like $600,000 on clothes or something crazy. Spending all this money, and you're gonna take your money and put it on the streets and drugs. So they found him for that. They got him. He was on probation. Anyway, just a big mess. So the issue is with her was that she didn't have any kind of financial literacy. She didn't know what to do with the money. Now I feel you. I mean, we all would do that. $200 million, but something that I learned at the very least, you got to put something up. You got $250 million. Just go ahead and put half of it up. That's what I say. Just go ahead and put half of it up and put it somewhere where you can't touch it. Even though the bonds and stuff don't make you a lot of returns, you'll know that in 5 years, you get a 5 year bond, it'll go ahead and mature. You can get that money out 5 years later. But we have got to be thinking about stuff to put our money into. And one of the main issues that I have with her and the issues that, that she had is that she was spending her money on the wrong things. Even if you have $200 million, if you're buying too much stuff, you're giving everybody money. You gave your church $10 million. So now she doesn't even have $10 million. And I think the bad thing about it is that now the preacher is suing her because he's saying that she told him that she was going to give him 20 million instead of 10 million because he want his 10%. That's the Pope shot. He want his 10%. That's fucked up, right? That's really bad, man. It's really bad. So she bought this stuff. She bought shoes, she bought diamonds, jewelry, car, and I'm sure they had a whole lot of cash on him. You know they did. I think that, yeah, hundreds of $1,000s on them, restaurants. Now the thing with these things is all of these things are not assets. Well, I guess you could call them assets, but what happens is they depreciate. So that new car that you buying off the lot, by the time you drive it off the lot, it's worth almost half of what it was before you even drove it. Diamonds. I mean, they look nice, but really, do they appreciate? No, they depreciate. You're never going to buy that same diamond ring or sell it for the price that you bought it from for, unless it belonged to somebody, or unless it was something kind of different. So these are some of the things, that we spend money on that do not increase in value. So if you got money and you spend it on these kind of items, that's the quickest way to get broke. Gotta watch how we spend our money. We have to always make sure we have a plan, and we need to be planning for our generations in advance. So instead of buying shoes and diamonds, walking around with $100,000 going to the strip club, jewelry, Lamborghinis, trying to look good, my around to everybody in the club, you should keep it down low a little bit, because that's something that I noticed. People with money don't flash money. And what I've learned by hanging around with different groups and different people, rich people don't flash their money. But you know what? They can tell if you're not really rich if you're flashing your money. They'll laugh at you. They'll laugh at you for having shoes that cost too much and you don't live in a house. I mean, they have their own set of rules. So what we have to do, we have to be on that vibration and link into this so that we can have the same prosperity. But you have to change your mindset. A poor mindset will never be able to accumulate money. You'll receive it, but you'll probably spend it. Okay. All right, so what are the things that we should be spending our money on? Now, what if the lady had came up and she invested in gold? That $10 million that she gave to that ungrateful pastor who is suing her now, allegedly, she could have put $10 million in gold. And when she won that lottery, gold has appreciated. That would be more money. Land, she could have bought land. She's in North Carolina. Buy some of that cheap North Carolina land. Now, I did see that she bought him like 75 acres. So I guess that was a good thing. She did buy some land. What about a trust fund? Put some of this stuff in the trust fund for your kids. Buy a home. She bought a home. Get some small businesses. Support small businesses. When I say support small businesses, I don't mean support the streets and put some work on the streets. No, make legitimate businesses. You should have insurance policies with all that money. You should have millions and millions of dollars worth of insurance. You should have silver. You should have artwork. When you get that much money, you've got to start investing it. And she's not like one of us. So, it's hard for us to say, okay, go invest in stocks when we're trying to get our rent paid. But somebody like that with all that excess of money, she should have been able to do it a little bit better. So yeah, it's sad. It's really sad. So people say that money is evil. Money is the root of all evil. And I don't think that money is evil. But I do think that just like everything else, money can be used for good or it can be used for evil. I think the evil part of money is the greed. If you have plenty of money and you're greedy, so you're not spending money, but you're bringing the money in, you're stopping the flow. Now, remember, we're always trying to have that balance. So you can definitely check out my woke build that I did a couple of days ago that's talking about balance. But we have to have that balance because without it, that money is going to stop flowing. So a lot of times people say that money is evil. Why do they say that money is evil? There's a lot of reasons. First off, I want to say that you have to change your mindset before you get the money, or it can be evil. Because this is what happens. Yeah, and I've been through it. I've had money that I've thrown away, and then I've had money and wised up, got a little bit wiser, and started doing better things with it. But each time it gets a little bit better. But the reason why they say it's evil is because money can make you greedy. So once you get that money, you can get greedy. You can start wanting more money, and it kind of puts you in this cycle. Money is bad when you're not using it to uplift, but you're just trying to use it to show off. All right, so you think about this. All right, so you got a house, it's the Joneses across the street. They just got a new car. You got money, so you're gonna buy a new car that's better than their car. Like, is that the best use of our money? This was a lot of black folks do, man. They try to keep up with the Joneses. You know what I'm saying? Instead of taking that $50,000 for that new A8, that's what I want on an A8, yo. I'm telling you, I'm getting it. Instead of taking that $50,000 for that A8 just to impress the neighbor when you already got cars, why don't you do something better with it? You know what I mean? So if that's the thing that you're using money with, money is evil. What we need to make sure is that we're using money for a tool. That money should be used to give us some time off work to spend with our family. The money should be used to buy us a bigger house so that our family can spread out. So the money should be used for good. So whenever you're doing any kind of visualizations or praying for money or anything like that, instead of praying for the actual money or visualizing the money, you want to visualize what the money will do for you. Because really, it's not, we don't want the money. We just want to not have to go to work every day. We want to have our bills paid. We want to not have to worry about, how much it's going to cost if I take the kids to Kings Dominion. You know what I'm saying? So we need to think about what we want in our life. And that's what we want instead of the money. The money is just a means of getting it. Okay. A lot of people say, hey, if I just made $100,000 a year, yeah, okay, been there, done that. You can make $100,000 a year, but if you have bad financial habits, then it's not going to do that much for you. So it's just very important to try to change your mindset before you get the money so that you don't get the money and you're trying to change and do everything at the same time. And then you look and you're broke. Hey, but some people got to go through it. We all been broke before, but you got to learn from that brokenness. And one thing I said is that, you look at your worst of your worst when you're really down. And I'm like, I'm going to never be broke like that again. So you have to get those habits and stuff in there so that there is no way to be broke again. Because there's a lot of us that's rich. People are rich. You know what rich means? Rich means you got a lot of money. Okay, you make $10,000 a month. You make $12,000 a month. You're rich because you have a lot of money and you buy what you want. But the difference is riches can be taken away. When I think of rich, I think about flashy stuff. I think about cars. I think about rims. I think about vacations. I think about jewelry. All these things that people are spending their money on that gives no investment back. What we're trying to do is build wealth. Wealth is just not having a lot of money or a high cash flow. Wealth is actually owning stuff. It's going to be a piece of something. You have land, you have assets, you have things that will be taken on to the next generation. And the thing about wealth is that you just can't squander it. If I got $1 million, I'm rich. I can spend that $1 million. But if I'm wealthy, now I have my wealth tied in different things. I'm diversifying. I got land here. I got part of a business right here. It's harder to get rid of that wealth, and something is going to trickle down. So we got to start thinking about wealth and building and being a part instead of just money and being rich and just buying like our temporary things just to look good. So we really got to think about that too. So yeah, vibration. You have to be on that vibration money to attract money. You have to be on that vibration. And something that I learned too, a lot of people are like, if I just knew somebody rich, if I had somebody rich in my family, everything would be good. No, not necessarily, because I know a couple of rich people. And you know what? Rich people don't give money to poor people. Sounds crazy. It really does sound crazy, but we're going to get more to this in my part two. But what happens is, if you've ever noticed, when you're broke, when you don't have money, it's the hardest thing in the world just to get money. You could be broke, you could be somebody rich, but they're not going to give you any money because you broke. But guess what? Once you get money and they know you have money, they'll give you money. I know that's backwards, right? They'll give you money when you have money. So it's easier to get money if you already have money than when you were broke. And that's just the rule. That's just how it goes. So try to accumulate something and just try to have something. And you would just automatically bring more money because you already got money. It's really weird, but that's how it works. People are like, okay, so how can I get more money? It's just thinking on more of an entrepreneur mindset. I'm gonna give you just a few tips And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go live later on this because I really want to see, what my people got to say. I really want to hear some ideas and see how y'all liking this. So I'm gonna go ahead and premiere it now. But I'm gonna go live later on, and we're gonna talk about it. So just remember that money is energy. So this energy is going to flow. So make sure you're not cutting off the flow. You know what I'm saying? Money is a vibration. So vibrate on the same vibration as what you want. You can't wait for the money to change your vibration. You need to change that now. Be rich now, and you'll attract the money. Remember, when you are broke, it's 10 times harder to get money than when you have money in your pocket. So keep some money. Don't spend all your money. Don't get broke. At least have something put up so that you can at least have a little bit of energy and a little bit of vibration that's high enough so that if you do see some kind of opportunity, you know what I'm saying? You can go out there and get it. And rich people don't give away money, especially the poor people. The way to get money from other people is to provide some kind of value for them. The way that I get a lot of money is by helping other people make money. You want to get money, you help other people make money, and you'll get money. It's kind of simple. Now it's easier than ever. I mean, we have online, we have Cash App. Oh yeah, my Cash App is $ K Paper Chase. Hit me up. We got Cash Apps. We just have so many ways that you can actually bring in money and try to start your business. So there's a lot of ways. So we just need to be more enterprise minded and think about different ways. Because even if you go to work, I mean, yeah, you can have a good job, but if you trade your hours for money, then you might not do as good as somebody who's figured out their niche and is actually doing their business. Now, I have that issue too. Sometimes I work, sometimes I don't work. But what I found out is that if I'm working, even if I'm doing gig jobs and stuff like that, that does give me extra income, and I can use that income to put into my businesses, to put into my projects. So what I'm doing now is starting to say, maybe I need to do both. If the business isn't going that fast, let me jump in and do a quick little contract and make some money that way. So you got to be flexible. You know what I mean? So you don't have to trade all your time for hours. But hey, if you got a job making $100,000 a year, do what you do. But like I'm saying, bro, use that money to invest in businesses or good things rather than the cars and stuff like that. So if you do lose a job and something happens, hey, you've been working that $100,000 a year job for a couple of years, you should be okay. You should be saving some of that money, right? Yeah, we talk about being wealthy versus being rich. You know, we always talk about that. And like I was saying too, people with real wealth, not rich people, but they can tell if you're rich. They can tell if you're being flashy. They can always tell. Now, some people see money as evil. The only way money is evil is if you're an evil person, because that money is just going to elevate however you were feeling. So if you're an evil person, then you're going to be more evil with money. So that's all I wanted to say as far as today. Like I said, money is energy. You want to be of value to people. You want to be on that vibration so that you can bring more money in with that vibration. And what I'm gonna talk about on part two is entrepreneur. How to be an entrepreneur, how to have more of an entrepreneur mindset. You know what I'm saying? When you go out, you should be looking for opportunities and stuff that you can do as far as to build your business or make your money. And people always, so what do you do? Sound off. What do you do? Everything I do is sound off. Everything I do in my business, whether it's an ATM machine, whether it's a vending machine, if I go out and I make a deal tutoring somebody or something like that, whatever it is, it's always sound off. So you should be thinking about this too. Everything that you do is your business. Hey, if you got a job, that's even better. You got money coming in that you can support your business and buy the equipment and stuff that you need. But everything is business. So we need to get into that money mindset where we just thinking and looking at opportunities. When you go out, you got to see what's missing. What does this person need or what does this business need? You know what I mean? Got to start thinking like that. And what'll happen is once you start thinking like that, it'll open up new neurons and passageways in your brain. For real, it's like a mental hack. And these passageways is what's going to help you to recognize the stuff that you might have not recognized before, but you are because you're more money minded now. Okay. So yeah, yo, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. This is your boy K Paper Chase. I wanted to put it down for the money. We coming with a live tonight about this part one. I'm gonna do a live on it. Then I'm doing part two, and then I'm doing part three. So we definitely got some stuff going on. So if you like this video, if it was helpful, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hey, and I want to thank y'all for joining this K Paper Chase. Peace.